first story. So those of you who have seen me out at the club may be surprised to know that I have never had any formal dance training. So when my daughter was 3 or 4 and we signed her up for a dance class for the first time, I had no idea what was involved or what I was getting into. And I know there's a show called Dance Moms out there, but my husband has had control of the remote since 2005, so I've never had a chance to see that. So when we signed up at a local school, I was really flying blind. So classes started, and I was still flying blind because one of the first things I found out when your kid takes dance class, at least at the studio that I went to, was that they bring the kids into the room and they close the door and they pull the blinds really tight. It's very, very secure. They don't let the parents see what's happening in the dance class. So even the Russians don't know what's happening in little girl dance classes here in the United States. So you just have to sit in the hallway and you hear the music, but you can't really see what's going on. And twice a year, they invite all the parents in for what they call parent observation. And they show you a couple moves, and mothers are yelling things like, Olivia, point your toes, and pay attention, and it's chaos. And so they're right to lock the doors. I see why they don't let the parents in all the time. But you go all year not really seeing what your kids have learned and what they can do until you get to the big recital in June. And there's a lot of preparation that goes into the big recital in June, and it starts in about January when you have to commit to the recital, and there's a day when everyone gets measured, and there's ordering of fancy costumes, and you have to get the right tights, and you have to get the right shoes, like months ahead of time, like you're a bridesmaid, and you get all this stuff. And then the kids are in there rehearsing, and then there's professional photography at one point, and then you finally get to the point where you have a dress rehearsal, right, on the stage for the first time. And that's the first time that all the mothers and all the parents get to see the routine. And so the kids get all dressed in their sparkly outfits, and it's very exciting. And there's a special hairdo they have to have, and there's a makeup protocol because you want them to look a little bit like John Benet Ramsey, but like not too much like Nicki Minaj. Like you have to hit it just right with the makeup. So there's a lot of stress, and you don't want to get in trouble. You want to get it right, especially if you're inexperienced like I was. So I was very excited to get to this dress rehearsal and see this dance routine for the first time. And you're watching on stage, and some of the older classes are coming out one by one, and it's beautiful. These girls are just beautiful in their tutus or their outfits. And finally, this year that we went, it was time for my daughter's class to come out. And they came out, and they were, in their flouncy little sparkly skirts in a line. And the music started playing, and I had my camera ready. And a couple of them started dancing. And a couple of them stood there kind of looking around, and one of them was doing downward dog in the back, and one of them lost her shoe, and the teacher was standing on the side smiling, like doing moves that they were supposed to be copying, and a couple of them were sideways just looking at her, and they sucked. They were really bad. They were really horrible. And I didn't know what happened. Did they panic because they were on stage, or I don't know, but I didn't want to be that a-hole who makes fun of little kids or who makes bad comments about little kids dancing, but I'm trying to catch the eye of some of the other mothers like, oh my God, this is horrible. Can't believe this. And I'm thinking, I have people coming. I have people coming to this tomorrow. I made a cake. Like, this is a big deal. It's a big deal. And the song's going on, and it's not really getting any better. Like, some of them are kind of doing some things. My daughter's on a 5-minute delay. Like, she's watching the teacher, and then she's 3 or 4 moves behind. And I look over at the teacher, and I think, oh God, what is she gonna do? She's gonna make us stay up all night practicing in the parking lot. I can't do this. What are we gonna do? We gotta go on stage tomorrow. And finally, the music ends, and the teacher comes rushing out on stage, and she says, That's the best they've ever done it. So I don't know what the moral of that story is, except that this is why I don't work with preschoolers, because I would have hated to see them on day one. And I guess hard work pays off, right? If that's the end result.